Welcome to the Arson tutorial. So after looking at the video, you can see how I structured this particular interview. And after introducing myself and setting the scene, when I walked into the station, she obviously looked anxious. So you want to ensure that you're being as sensitive and empathic and as unassuming as you can. And you certainly don't want to come across as judgmental when you're asking questions as to why she'd set the fire. And additionally, you need to be flexible in your approach in asking for the information, as she may not want to engage with you straight away. So I asked, so you could see that was happening in the video, and so I asked about how things were at the home, who was there, whether she enjoyed living there or not, and then moved back onto the incident with the fire. So after that, we looked at a full exploration of the incident with the circumstances of what happened, what triggered it, what the intent was, how she felt when she actually set the fire, whether she used accelerants like petrol or lighter fuel, and also whether she was intoxicated at the time. I then went on to whether she had done this before with the previous histories, and it's also important to obviously include a past psychiatric and forensic history here. But she did say that she'd set fire to her previous accommodation and also when she was staying at her father's house. So what I could have also done in this video was ask whether there were any similarities in the previous fire setting episodes to the current one, to see if there are any patterns. For example, did memories of abuse trigger those previous incidences? And whether she's actually sought any help for this before, and whether she would like help for that now. Additionally, and this isn't actually on the slide here, but you can also include a pre-morbid personality. So questions such as how would her friends describe her, just to see if there are any potential antisocial or borderline personality traits. We then went on to whether there were any other explorations of coping strategies for stress, such as deliberate self-harm, or whether she watched her diet and went under dietary restrictions. I then asked about comorbidity, and so we could ask about things like substance misuse, psychosis, depression, any potential post-traumatic stress symptoms, or any other personality issues. But you won't obviously have time in a 7-minute session to explore all of these, so I just focused on whether there were any comorbid depressive or psychotic symptoms in this interview. And then in closing the interview, we also looked at her current attitude or feelings towards the incident. And so we're obviously looking for any evidence of minimization or guilt or remorse. So let's have a look at the key areas of the script for this scenario. So, hello, Miss Lynham, or depending on who the name of the patient is. My name is Dr. X, and I work here in the A&E department. I'm already aware as to what's happened and why you're here. How are you feeling? And again, that approach is always a very good approach to create rapport. You see, I've used that time and time again in the child and adolescent scenarios in terms of taking an overdose history, where if you're already aware as to what's happening, you're already aware they're taking an overdose, you're already aware they've set fire to something, using that information already can and just asking them how they are at the beginning, because you know they've gone through quite a difficult time already, is a good way of creating rapport quite quickly. And then, so depending on what she says about how you're feeling, I appreciate that. However, I'd like to ask you some questions, if I may, just to get a better idea of what happened and to see if there's anything else that we can do to help. Could you tell me what happened? And again, if they're resistant, okay. So could you tell me about the hostel that you live in? How long have you been living there for? What's the setup there? How many people live there? What's it like to live there? Do you get on with people there? Is there anybody that you don't like? So again, just really just trying to get some idea of what circumstances she's living in before going on to the incident of the fire setting. That would help her be a little bit more forthcoming with the information, but also may also give us some indication as to what could have triggered the fire. For example, if she's been bullied by anybody at the home, or if she doesn't like the home, for example.
Okay, and then coming on to, okay, could you tell me about the fire? What happened? What time of the day did it happen? How long had you been thinking about it for? So again, whether it was an impulsive act or planned. What went through your mind when you saw the program? So again, it's a very good open Socratic question, really to get an idea of what's happening. And again, you'll be seeing me use this question, what went through your mind, a lot, and I'm sure that's something you've been sort of trained to do by your supervisors in your training. What did it remind you of? Do you ever have experiences like this even when you don't see a program? So again, I mean, that's a useful question to ask if the patient, for example, has flashbacks of a particular traumatic episode. What did you think was going to happen when you set the fire? So again, intention. What was going through your mind at the time? Did you feel angry, for example? Did you use anything to help start the fire? For example, petrol or lighter fuel, cigarette lighter fuel? Did you have any alcohol at the time? How about any drugs? Have you set fires before? Does fire setting excite you or fascinate you? Again, that would be a key thing to look at in terms of pyromania. How else do you try and deal with stressful situations? Do you ever try to cut yourself? I appreciate this must have all been very difficult for you. How do you see the future at the moment? Is there anything that you enjoy doing at the home? Did you have any periods recently where you felt particularly sad at all? How have you been sleeping? Do you ever get nightmares? I'm just going to ask you some other questions which do sound a bit odd. Did you feel in control of yourself when you were setting the fire? Did you ever experience noises, whispers, or even voices when there was no one else around? So again, just the comorbidity aspects. Have you ever seen a psychiatrist before? Have you ever been in trouble with the police before? And then again, looking at the current attitudes, how do you feel about it all now? Do you still think it was the right thing to do? And then, thank you very much for speaking to me. So just briefly, I'm going to talk about just some aspects around fire setting. Pure pyromania is rare, and so it'd be unlikely to be tested in a CASC station on its own. But the key thing, again, is just to ensure that you're ruling it out during an Arson risk assessment station. During the video, she'd mentioned quite a few times that it just made her feel better. And I asked her how she felt after she'd set the fire, but it might have been useful just to follow up as to whether she got a sense of excitement or fascination around fire setting, which would be a useful thing to do that if you can remember that. Interestingly, arson is from what I understand, is more common in women purely because one of the reasons is because fire setting doesn't require a lot of brute strength or size. But again, other key issues again, which we've looked at in the interview and in our structure, are substance misuse and personality disorder. And again, in terms of the management, treating any comorbid illnesses and the management, we were looking at risk management issues. And again, these things would come up if the station was linked and you had to discuss the patient with a consultant or discuss the issues with the care coordinator. This has only come up as a single station to date. So for the moment, I think you'd be in good stead if you managed just to learn the structures here for the exam.
So I hope your revision is going well, and I will see you in the next tutorial.